They told you the 13 families were a myth. They mocked you with tin-foil insults, while in their own tongue, conspiratio meant an agreement of breath. For centuries, the snake has coiled behind politics, media, NATO, the UN, the WHO, the WEF, twisting truth into inversion. This is only the beginning. What comes next is fact, documented proof, the truth of centuries of their power brought into today's reality. This is the sovereign signal. Find it at waketfup.co.uk. The myth they sell you. They tell you the idea of ruling families is a myth, a conspiracy, a bedtime story for the paranoid. Impossible, they say. Too many countries, too many leaders, too much diversity. They laugh at the thought that 13 dynasties could control the world. But the laughter is the shield. The disbelief is the camouflage. Because the truth is this: power does not need to be visible to be real. The snake does not strike from the open field. It coils in the shadows, hidden behind the puppets it animates. Presidents, prime ministers, CEOs, and media anchors are the masks. The families are the face beneath. The snake's longevity, the length of time these dynasties have held power, is staggering. Rothschild finance in the 18th century. Rockefeller oil in the 19th. DuPont chemicals in the 20th. Each century, each industry, each crisis, different names, same bloodlines. Nations rise and fall. Corporations merge and collapse. But the families endure. Why? Because governments change every few years. Corporations last decades. But dynasties last centuries. Their wealth is not salaries or stock options. It is land, trusts, foundations, and control of the systems that define reality itself. A puppet theater, look at politics. Leaders appear to rise from the people, chosen by votes, elevated by charisma. Yet behind them stand donors, lobbyists, think tanks, and media conglomerates, all funded, staffed, or steered by dynastic networks. The families do not need to sit in Parliament or Congress. They only need to control the strings. When a president signs a bill, when a prime minister declares a war, when a health body announces a crisis, the public sees the puppet. The families see their will enacted. The media web politics is only the first mask. The second is media. The families own the presses, the studios, the networks. They decide what is news, what is silence, what is scandal, what is forgotten. They do not simply report reality, they manufacture it. Every headline is a weapon. Every omission is a shield. Every expert is credentialed by their foundations. Every fact is filtered through their narrative. The people believe they are informed. In truth, they are programmed. The global institutions, and above politics and media, the families control the next tier, the institutions that claim to govern the world. NATO, the UN, the WHO, the WEF, these are not neutral bodies. They are the dynasty's instruments. NATO wages wars in the name of peace. The UN legitimizes treaties that strip sovereignty. The WHO declares crises that justify pharmaceutical monopolies. The WEF designs the future, not for the people, but for the bloodlines. These institutions are the snake's coils, tightening around nations, squeezing sovereignty into submission. The language inversion, but the deepest mask is language itself. What they teach us is not the language they use. The words sound the same, look the same, but they are inverted. They speak through their puppets in coded tongues: Latin, Greek, Hebrew, French, Old English, while we are taught a hollowed-out version. Take the word conspiracy. To the masses, it means paranoia, tin-foil hats, foolishness. But in their own script, it comes from the Latin conspiratio, an agreement of breath, a ritual of unity, a covenant of intent. They invert the meaning so that when we speak of conspiracy, we are mocked, while they speak of conspiratio as the sacred act of alignment. This is how they control perception. not just through politics, media, and institutions, but through the very words we use to think. The teaser. This is only the introduction. The detailed logs will show each family's domain, method, and influence chain. Finance, oil, chemicals, real estate, intelligence, law, politics, tech, shipping, addiction, education, aristocracy, and bloodline myth. Each will be mapped from origin to present, showing how the snake coils around the world. For now, remember this. Myths are dismissed because they sound too large to be true. But the scale of control is not proof against it. It is proof of it. The longer the snake, the deeper the shadow. And once you see the shadow, you cannot unsee it. The denial engine. Ask the average person about ruling families, and they will laugh. Impossible, they say. Too many countries, too many leaders, too much diversity. They believe power is fragmented, chaotic, democratic. They believe history is a series of accidents, not a design. This denial is not accidental, it is cultivated. The families thrive on invisibility. They do not need the public to believe in them. In fact, disbelief is their greatest shield. When someone speaks of dynastic control, the crowd dismisses it as fantasy, and so the snake continues to coil, unseen, unchallenged. The continuity. Consider Rothschild finance. Wars funded on both sides, nations indebted, assets seized. Consider Rockefeller oil. Energy monopolized, medicine rewritten, health bodies founded. Consider DuPont chemicals. Soil poisoned, seeds patented, warfare supplied. Each family appears in history books as a titan of industry, a benefactor of science, a patron of culture. Yet the continuity of control is hidden. The companies change names, the trusts shift jurisdictions, the foundations rebrand, but the bloodline remains. The puppet illusion. Behind every leader stands a donor. Behind every donor stands a foundation. Behind every foundation stands a family. This is the puppet theater. The public debates the puppet's words, the puppet's policies, the puppet's scandals. The families debate only strategy. When a puppet falls, another rises. The strings remain in the same hands. The media cage. The media is not a mirror. It is a cage. It tells you what to fear, what to desire, what to ignore. It decides which wars are noble, which protests are dangerous, which leaders are heroes, which are villains. The families own the presses, the studios, the networks. They decide what is news, what is silence, what is scandal, what is forgotten. They do not simply report reality, they manufacture it. The global stage, and above it all, the institutions, NATO, UN, WHO, WEF. These are not neutral arbiters. They are dynastic tools. NATO enforces military dominance under the banner of peace. The UN legitimizes treaties that strip sovereignty. The WHO declares crises that funnel billions into pharmaceutical monopolies. The WEF designs the future as a technocratic prison. These bodies are the snake's coils, tightening around nations, squeezing sovereignty into submission. The language trap, the most insidious control, is linguistic. The families speak in one language, but teach us another. They use Old Latin, Greek, Hebrew, French, English languages of ritual, law, and covenant. We are taught the surface meanings, stripped of depth, inverted into ridicule. Take conspiracy. To us, it means delusion. To them, conspiratio means agreement of breath, unity of intent. They laugh as we mock each other with tin-foil hat insults, while they script their puppets with words that carry hidden resonance. Every speech, every treaty, every declaration is written in double language. One for the masses, one for the initiated. The same words, inverted meanings. That is how they control, not just what we see, but how we think. The snake imagined the snake. Its head is finance, the Rothschild eye. Its body is oil, chemicals, real estate, intelligence, law, politics, tech, shipping, addiction, education, aristocracy, and bloodline myth. Its coils wrap around the world, squeezing slowly, invisibly. The puppets dance on the surface, unaware of the pressure beneath. The snake has been growing for centuries. It has survived revolutions, wars, depressions, and crises. Each event is not a threat, it is an opportunity. The snake feeds on chaos, tightening its grip while the people look elsewhere. The strike this script is only the beginning. The detailed logs will show each family's domain, method, and influence chain. They will reveal how the snake operates, how inversion is ritualized, how perception is controlled. For now, understand this. The myth is not a myth. The families are real, their control is structural, and their invisibility is deliberate. The puppet theater is the distraction. The snake is the reality. And the language they use is the lock on the cage. This is only the beginning. The full release exposing the 13 families, their power, their control, their centuries of hidden influence, goes live on Monday the 8th of December 2025 at 6 p.m. Watch the truth unfold, documented and undeniable. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notifications bell so you do not miss what is coming. Join this journey, see what you were never taught, and witness what has been hidden in plain sight. It's time to wake TF up with the Sovereign Signal.